Okay. Let's see here. I don't know why it's not connecting. If you guys can hear me and I sound very clear, let me know. Okay. I know I am like super early, but hopefully, let's see. Okay, so I'm just gonna wait for a couple minutes. I don't know, but if not, this will just be like a, what do you call it? Like a live, I don't know, podcast or whatever you want to call it. I don't know, because I know that I'm starting super early. I know it's a Sunday, and so I'm assuming that a lot of people are, winding down, or they're, I don't know, hanging out with families or friends at this time. So I don't expect a lot of people to come in, but if you guys do, then great. If not, then this will be like my first live, I don't know, podcast episode. But if you guys can hear me, let me know. And I know that um when I post it on Facebook or on, what is that, YouTube, it might be lagging. So I'm just gonna go back and forth on the screen. And what else? And then the camera is up there, okay? But I'm just gonna look at you guys through my screen, not up there. So hopefully you guys do not mind. Also, I do feel, or I sound congested. It's because, the weather is changing. It's either hot and cold, and whenever that happens, my body changes as well too. Um, Yeah. But yeah, I'm just gonna start, okay? But for those who are here, and if you guys want to come back and watch this video or this live again, I will definitely have it post on my Facebook and on my YouTube. But other than that, I just want to come on lives just to, say thank you to all of my viewers, my listeners, my supporters for, I don't know, having an interest in me and what I have to say about, I don't know, the dark side of life, if that's what you want to call it. And starting this podcast, it does take a lot of time and effort to, of course, record and edit and post and whatnot. But I enjoy it. This is really fun. If I can do this full time and get paid for it, even better. But I'm just doing this for fun, and I just love educating other people about certain things that a lot of people don't like to talk about. And for those who are new, who doesn't or don't know what I do or what my content is when it comes to to my podcast is, I just talk a lot about a lot of taboo topics. I also talk about my experiences, my life, um, when it comes to divorce, relationship, being single. And so I'm very open to talking about these type of topics. And I am very honest and blunt about these things as well. A lot of time podcasters, they don't like to go in depth about these topics, and so I'm just one of those few people that is willing to do that. And I'm pretty sure some of you guys who's been listening to me since the beginning know that that's just who I am. And I'm not for everyone. And excuse me, I live in a neighborhood where there's a lot of dogs, and my neighbors upstairs, and aside from me, they are loud. So if you hear dogs barking like now, and my neighbors walking, it's because there's a they're around me, okay? But just ignore them, okay? but but yeah, that's pretty much what I do for my podcast. And so, it can be boring, it could be interesting, whatever you feel that is of interest of you, then I do appreciate you for always tuning in and listening to me. So I will start by answering some questions from I don't know, people that are coming in now. And so first question that I got from Leonard. Thank you, Leonard, for coming in and asking me all these questions. Okay. So the first one that you asked me is, why aren't you cuffed yet? I'm still looking. I'm still looking. But I think because I've been hiding at home, I've been very focused on myself and improving myself to where I haven't taken the time to actually go out there, which I know I should, but I'm just not cuffed yet. So, and if I do, eventually I'll let you guys know. The next one that you asked me is, what's your next gonna be? What do you mean by that? Like, what's your next gonna be? Like, for what? Okay. So you say black, white, Hmong, Mexican, European. I'm assuming you're referring that to your last questions, right? What's your next gonna be? I'm very open to dating anyone. I don't just stick to Hmong people. But I'm very open. I'm not picky. Is that a gaming chair? Yes, it is a gaming chair. It's because it's the most comfortable. And my last chair that I had, it broke on me. Okay, so I had to invest on a very nice gaming chair. Even though I don't play games, but this chair is really pretty. Okay. What else? How long is too long? What do you mean by that? Okay, so when you guys ask me a question, you guys gotta be detailed. Like, the questions are too broad, okay? Be specific, because if not, then I'm gonna have follow-up questions, okay? So I don't know what that is. Next one is, let's go on depth about your relationship goals. So my relationship goals are, I don't know, there's a lot that I have when it comes to, my next relationships. I I've written it down on my journal, but I don't remember those. So You gotta be more specific about that too, because it could be anything though. So be more specific on that. Uh, thank you all for coming to my live. Okay, Leonard, I'm not trying to hide, okay? I was just working on myself and just trying to figure out myself. That's it, okay? Now that summer is here, it's a good chance for me to, of course, go out. So goals for relationship. So for those who are, for those who have experienced divorce, right? Um, although you have experienced divorce, don't stray away from getting married again. And the only reason why I'm saying that is that, I believe in marriage, okay? I love being married. I love the marriage life, is because you are also doing life but with another person. And although my last relationship did not work as planned, um, I'm so hopeful that the next one, my next marriage, will eventually be successful. And I don't know. I just have hope that it'll just be successful, and that there are certain things that I learned about myself that I will like and don't like when it comes to being in a relationship. And so I don't know. I think when it comes to relationship, you have a set of goals, but at the same time, sometimes it doesn't go the way that you want. And then when that happens, then what? It's good to set a goal on what you are looking for when it comes to being in a relationship with another person. But at the same time, if that person that you're with is not serving you in any way, then it's okay to just let go and just move on. I don't have a hard time cutting off people. I'm really good at that now, and so I know what I want and what I don't want, and it's just easier for me to just move forward. What did I eat for breakfast today? Oh my god, what did I eat? Well, I normally eat my homemade pico de gallo. I make that at home. And then I had some brown rice with chicken wings. Yeah, simple. Very simple. And then brunch, I ate Caesar salad with chicken, curry chicken, and brown rice. Okay. I just love chicken. That's that. Okay. Let's see here. But yeah, I just want to just come in or come on live just to chat with you guys and just talk about anything. I don't really have anything scheduled or anything like that. So um yeah, just we could just chat and just talk about random things, I guess. Hi Susie, thanks for joining me. Oh, and also I also want to introduce you guys to my co-host, Arabelle. She's right here. And so if you guys see her roaming around, do not mind her. So I don't eat dinner though. I only eat twice a day. I eat brunch and dinner. That's it. I skip lunch. I mean, I skip breakfast. Sorry. For breakfast, if I were to get up early in the morning, I just have a cup of coffee and that's it. The brown rice. It's the three lady. I don't know what you call it. Not jasmine rice, but it's those three lady. Okay. No, I don't eat killed chicken because it's just, I mean, I do eat it, but I don't have that at home. So no, it'll just be processed chicken. Girl, I think it's my Maxine. Thank you for joining me. It's the of course it's my makeup, but at the same time I think it's the my my iMac that is making me look rosy in a way. I don't know. But thank you. Hi Amy, how are you? For those who are just joining in, I am just answering questions from you guys. If you guys want to remain anonymous, I do have the link posted as well too, so you guys can click on that, and then I can just go through those. So I know some people don't like to be known, or they just like to, I don't know, hide behind the computer and not expose himself. I don't know, but if you don't feel comfortable asking me certain questions, just go right ahead and click on that link and just submit your questions. Oh, and also, if you guys have any, I don't know, like topics that you guys want me to talk about, or I don't know, just some things that you guys want to ask me, just let me know. I have a couple of things that I have lined up already that I will be posting on my podcast. But it'd be nice to hear from you guys because I know a lot of my listeners, you guys don't really respond, or you guys don't really say much, which is totally fine. Okay, which is totally fine. But if I have some feedbacks from you guys, or things that I can improve on, or just topics that you guys are interested in and wanting me to talk about, let me know. Okay. So as I am just waiting, I am just going to just go back and forth to my screen here. I am doing good, Amy. That's the same old thing. Nothing special, I'm doing my own thing, rediscovering myself and living life in solitude. And like I mentioned in my previous episode, I'm just ready to mingle and ready to just go out there. No, actually, the reason why I wanted to start at 5:55, of course, it's an angel number. Of course, I just realized that, but also because technical difficulties. What happens if I started at 6 and you guys can't hear me, or I don't know, something happened? I don't know, because sometimes that can happen too. So that's why I wanted to start a little bit early. That way, if you guys can't hear me, or there's something wrong with the audio, or something, then we don't waste so much time. But I think you guys can hear me then. I'm not using my microphone, nor am I using, I don't know, that little I don't know what you call it, but you plug your microphone into this little system, and then it plugs into your computer. I don't know what you call it, but I don't have any of my podcast equipment on. I just have strictly my iMac that's on. To be honest, Leonard, I actually do not like Unison or CNC. Okay, I'm not a fan of those places. It's nice to go, once in a while, but if I have to choose between one or the other, I'll have to say Unison, just because food is good, the vibe is very for a lot of younger people as well. Especially in the weekend, music is good, but other than that, I don't really care too much for those places, to be honest. There's honestly, there's better places to hang out and mingle and meet other people. So yeah. Thank you, Amy. I know a lot of my families and friends, they have noticed that I've glowed up, you could say. And, of course, like, when you go through something, like, I don't know, traumatic or something major in your life to where you never thought that you will have to go there, I'm just the type of person where I see, I don't know, I'm very optimistic. I see the good after going through something bad. And yes, even though throughout the whole, like the whole entire years of, going through all of that, yeah, it was really sad and really heartbreaking. But I realized that at the end of the day, you have to pick up yourself up and live your life, be in control of your life. And so that's what I've been doing. And and of course, when you hear from other people where they get into a relationship and then they jump to the next one, and then the cycle, it just keeps recycling. And for me, like, although I would love to be in a relationship, but I knew for myself that it wouldn't be healthy for me. And that's why I kind of took a turn and just decided to just stay single and just work on myself, understand myself, rediscover who I am as an individual, what I want and don't want, and what I need and what I don't need in my life. And just continuing to do that. And I feel like if we all take this path, I mean, I know that it's not for everyone, but if everyone takes this path where once they get out of a relationship where it didn't serve them, they should take that time to be in solitude, to understand themselves, to know themselves before they jump into another relationship. And that's one of the reasons why a good guy, good girl turns into a bad person. When they get to the next relationship, they tend to use and abuse another person who, let's say, the person that they meet has never been in a relationship before, right? And so once they get into that relationship, they use and abuse because they haven't healed from their previous relationship. I don't want to do that. And that's why I just decided to just be single, stay single. And I loved every bit of it. It has taught me a lot of things about myself, my previous relationship, and what I am looking forward to for my next relationship as well. So yeah, Sunday is a really odd day to come on live, but hopefully everybody is just winding down and enjoying what's left of the weekend. So Melissa Martes asked, "Do you like jackets?" It depends. Depending what kind of style it is. Yes, it all depends. Thank you, Amy. Yeah, it's really refreshing to hear from other people that they see that you're doing good in your life. And I know that I'm doing good, but it's just nice to just hear from other people. It's just to validate that you are doing well and that you are in the direction that you need to be. Oh, Melissa, I I don't want to try my jacket. So unless you want to private message me on that, then I can give you more information on like the jackets and all that stuff. But not on this live, okay? This live is just more of like a sit down and just to talk and chat and just ask questions about me and my podcast. That's all. But thanks for tuning in. Like going back to what Leonard asked me about relationship goals, um, I don't know. I was having a hard time thinking about it too because it's like, have I ever like written a list of goals of what I want in a relationship? I think it's more of listening the type of man that I want to be with, or what I should say, what my future husband will be. And so, I never really like have gone in depth about what type of relationship. Of course, I want a really healthy relationship. Okay, a relationship where can still have my own life. He can still have his own life, and we come together as a couple, right? But it's really hard to find someone to understand that, especially when let's say if it's your new relationship that you've never been in. And of course, when you don't know anything about a relationship, you tend to just either begin to act, or I don't know, be similar to your partner, to where you lose yourself. For me, my thing is I don't want to end up losing myself again. And so hopefully, um my next relationship, he understands that I'm still myself. I'm still an individual. I still have my personal life, and then if we're able to come together and build a life together, then that's exactly what I want. Because he can do his own thing, I could do my own thing, and we should be okay. And if not, and let's say if he wants me to do 100% of the things that he want to do, that's where an issue is going to happen. Thank you, Amy. I don't know. Like I mentioned in my previous episode, where especially for us Hmong women, okay, like we tend to put in that strong mask where we always have to be the strong person in everything, right? And I've come to realize when I became single again and went through this journey, it's okay to not be strong all the time. It's okay to not be the one to plan everything, do everything, and while your partner isn't doing that thing. And sometimes we just need to just sit back and just be a girl. Okay, be a girly girl. And so it's good to be strong, but at the same time, there is a certain time where it's okay to just take that off and just relax, and just be a woman. Oh yeah, I definitely agree on open communication. I feel like when you don't have that constant communication, that's where the relationship is not gonna work. And I see that a lot of times with like relationship, like especially for us women. For me, I know for a fact for me, sometimes when let's say for example, okay, if I were to date a guy, and let's say that he went somewhere and he didn't let me know. Okay, like little small thing like that matters to me, because it's not like you are controlling. It's more of you just want to make sure that you know where he's going, where he's at, and that he's safe. And if he's not telling me these things, or letting me know that, hey, I'm going, I don't know, I'm going to the gas station, or I'm going to the store, whatever, I'll be back. Like if he doesn't say that, then I don't know. It just tells me that okay, he's not communicating with me, or he's just not, I don't know, caring enough to let me know where he's at. Little stuff like that does matter. And so I believe communication is something that is important when it comes to being in a relationship. And if you're not willing to communicate at all, then you're not ready to be in a relationship. Okay, I'm gonna go back and forth here. Sorry about that, you guys. Okay. Yeah, do not mind me, you guys. I'm just going back and forth in here and making sure that everyone is seeing my live. And again, like I said, I don't have anything planned. It's just more of just questions you guys have for me and just, I don't know, talking to you guys, interacting with you guys. Because it's been 2 years since I've started this podcast or this Yours Truly. I don't know. I don't know what you want to call this, like what, a platform or something? I don't know. But I do have to say, when you're starting a podcast, it is a lot of work. Like I mentioned earlier, a lot of work. You have to put in a lot of work when it comes to editing. First and foremost, you have to figure out what you want to talk about, like the topics you want to talk about, and it has to be topics that you know. And if you don't know, research. For me, I like to research. There are certain topics that I'm very intrigued on, and I would be interested in researching it and telling you guys about it because it's very interesting. And I feel like when I, you know, have put myself in the dating world or have experienced dating, there's certain things that are a lot different, and then there's a whole bunch of like, I don't know, like a lot of podcasts out there that either are for women or not for women, or for men and not for men. And so, like for example, the red pill and blue pill. What else? The 4B movement, the Me Too movement. Like, there's just a whole bunch of things that I was introduced to, and it's not like I, wanted to know those things. It's more of when you're searching on the internet of ways to improve yourself or trying to understand why your previous relationship didn't work, all those things, it just, pops up, and then it's just you're basically introduced to those things. And so yeah, there's just so many things that popped up in my feed and I was introduced to, and I'm like, that's very interesting. And so I definitely do want to talk more about, those, I don't know, movements. That's what you want to call. Hello, Mong Podcast. Thank you for coming onto my live. Like I was mentioning to everyone that is just joining in, I don't have anything planned. It's just more of, interacting with you guys. If there's any questions you guys want to ask me, you guys are more than welcome to ask me. If you are shy and you don't want to ask me on live here, I do have a link where you can ask me anonymously, and that way you don't expose yourself. So that's that. Yeah, but I'm just talking about like random things. So as people are coming in and out, I don't expect to have a bunch of people here, but it's just more of me just thanking everyone for tuning in and has been listening to me for the past 2 years. So that's that. So the question you asked me, what made you want to start a podcast? I started my podcast right after my divorce. Um, and the reason why I started after my divorce is because I had so many unanswered questions. Okay. Me being Hmong, growing up in the Hmong culture, there were certain things that you should do as a Hmong woman, right? And I'm pretty sure Hmong men, you guys have certain things that you guys should do during your upbringing. But for me, of course, we all know as a Hmong woman, Hmong daughter, you're supposed to, grow up, provide for your family, cook it clean, go to school, get educated, graduate, find your husband, and then live with them, right? Leave your family and then go live with your family, right? And of course, if the marriage doesn't work, then it will bring shame if you decide to divorce. So we all know that already, okay? And it brought a lot of fear to me, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us women we can relate to, where our family brought us shame and fear when it comes to, this relationship's not working out, I want to leave, but I can't leave. Why? Because my dad would disown me, my mom would disown me, my whole, I don't know, Lee clan or family clan is going to disown me. And then what? I'm out here in the world to defend myself when I can't really defend myself. What if I don't have a stable job? What if I don't have a stable home? And where would I go? Would I just be homeless? All these, layers of questions that, I had to ask myself, like, will my dad, not love me anymore? Will he disown me if I divorce my husband? And so all those things, has been circulating in my mind, to where, I kind of want answers, like I want to understand why why do I need to believe in this culture and, like follow through all these things from point A to point Z, but then when I decide not to follow it anymore, and all these things that people and even the culture has been telling us that, hey, if you do this, you're gonna bring shame to your family, and then it makes me scared. It's just a lot of things. And then when I actually, jumped that bridge where I did get divorced, it wasn't what it seemed to be. And so I just have a lot of questions of, like, marriage, like the Hmong marriage, the Hmong divorce procedures, and then life after divorce. Because you hear these stories from not only from you for yourself, but you hear a lot of stories from your families, your friends, where the daughter got divorced and her parents didn't want her to come back, or there are parents who are welcoming and they're willing to accept their daughter back. My experience was a lot different, and so I just wanted to understand, why be Hmong and go through all of these things and listen to all these things, be a, I don't know, like a good girl, a good Hmong girl, right? But at the end, when you have done everything to, I don't know, please your family and your parents, and in the end they're not there to support you in the end, it's kind of like, then why would I believe this from the beginning? And then on top of that, it's just a lot of, like, religion that play a part in it as well too. So it's just, and a lot of times these are issues that people don't want to talk about. A lot of us Hmong community and Hmong people, we don't like to talk about, like, divorce, like the process of it, the life after divorce. How are you supposed to handle your life after divorce? What are you supposed to do? There are certain people that are divorced and have kids. How are they going to live their life? How do they process all of that? And then there are some people like me where we're divorced, no kids. And so it's like, how do we navigate our life after divorce? And then also just understanding the why the relationship didn't work out. Was it because of me? Was it because of him? Was it because of the people around us? Did I do something wrong? What could I have done better? What could I have done to prevent this? And so these are just questions that I have after I got divorced, of A, B, C to Z, basically. And so it's just a lot of things that people don't want to talk about, like a lot of taboo topics. Like, for example, if you have been listening to my, podcast from the beginning, I talk about my miscarriages. Nobody talks about miscarriages at all. Like, I get that it's really hard to talk about it, and a lot of times a lot of people don't like to be vulnerable. And so for me, I just learned to just be in my emotion, and to just be in it, be in the present time. And yeah, but just a lot of, like, layers of things that I'm just curious about. And I decided, let me just start this podcast. But the most important thing as to why I started this podcast was for me to heal. I got divorced during the pandemic, okay? So during the pandemic, you can't go anywhere, okay? And so with that, I couldn't seek a therapist. I did try therapy online, but it just wasn't giving me anything. Like I'm the type where I need depth. I need someone that can just like pinpoint me and just like I don't know, like stab me and poke me to where like I can like realize myself and why things happen. And so the therapist that I was meeting, he wasn't giving me that. And so I just decided, online therapy is not working for me. And you guys, therapy is very expensive too. So at the time it was expensive. I'm like, I cannot afford to meet a therapist one on one. And it was just too much. I couldn't afford it. And so I just decided to just, go online and just found some free resources. I'm the type where when I'm curious about something, I want to research it because I want to understand why things are the way it is. And so with that, I started this podcast and it has helped me to be vulnerable to you can say that this podcast is like a diary for me. I started when I was still, fresh, I don't know, like a year or 2 year after my divorce. And I just wanted to let other people know what has happened. And again, it's not to bash anyone, but if I could be a prime example for those who are going through the same thing as I went through, at least I am helping someone to, rediscover themselves and to be able to have the courage to leave a relationship that wasn't serving them. And I haven't seen anybody who's like that. And then not just to just see like a Hmong representation, but just someone who has gone through, the dark side of divorce and how did they came out of it. So yeah, I just started this podcast just to help me heal, help me just kind of like vent, at the same time express my emotion, be vulnerable, and just be honest and real about topics that people don't want to talk about. Like I said, divorce, miscarriages, what else? Stuff that goes around in church. Okay, there's so many things I can say. And again, it's not to bash anybody, it's just more of this is what I've been through, my experience, and I just have questioned why we could have done things differently. How can we just say certain things differently? And so it's just trying to understand why things happened the way it did, basically. So mixed in the dark. Thank you for coming to my live. So your question is, I'm sure your divorce was a difficult time for you. How did you get through it? Are you fully content emotionally and physical, whatever the word is, with where you are? Um, I am. Let's see. The first question: how did you get through it? I just got through it. That's it. I just like I was saying earlier, people tend to jump into a relationship because they don't want to, I don't know, cope with their issues or be within themselves because they know that they don't like themselves basically and they're not willing to face their own demons. For me, instead of jumping into the next relationship just to use other people and to make them as a placeholder, I just decided to just be single, be in solitude, and just rediscover myself, figure out who I am as a person. And the more that I did that, and of course, you guys have to also realize that it was during the pandemic. Okay, you couldn't go anywhere. Okay, you couldn't go anywhere. Everything was shut down, and so I was like, where was I supposed to go? And it's hopefully it's not a bad thing to what I'm about to say, but I'm actually glad that pandemic happened just because if it didn't happen, I would have been out there partying, going to like bars and clubs every weekend, drinking and doing all those stupid stuff that I should be doing, you know? And I knew that that wasn't going to help me at all. And thankfully, I was able to just stay home and just, of course, go to work, but at the same time, have the time to just refocus on myself and just reflect on my life and what I am doing with my life presently. And I am content about my life. And of course, it's not easy to move on and forgive and forget. My thing is that for those who have been divorced and who still are mad at their, I don't know, previous partner or people or whatever it is, for me, I was always more of, you forgive them so that you can move on and not hold a grudge towards them. You forgive so that you can move on. And for me, I may forgive, but I'm not gonna forget. And some people say, well, if you don't forgive, then that means that you haven't forgive. I don't know. I've heard a lot of different things when it comes to forgiving, but whatever you feel that makes sense to you, that's you. But for me, my way of forgiving is, I know that you didn't mean what you meant by what you did or what you said. Maybe you didn't know better and that's why you did what you did. But at the same time, maybe you did, but you just purposely just did what you did, but if that's the case, then I will forgive you, but I'm will let you know that I won't forget. That way I won't put myself in a situation where I will get, I don't know, get manipulated or get treated that way again. And it could either be from the same person or a different person. It's just a reminder to let you know that you forgive so that you move on, so you have a peaceful life, so that you don't hold that grudge on that person, but you don't forget so that you can create the boundaries and to not allow other people to treat you like the same way as that previous person treated you. And so, and also, um, if you're so mad at your ex, just be mad at your ex, okay? Don't, because I know a lot of people say that, especially when like you're dating other people, right? People say, "Oh, it's a red flag if the person talks about their ex and they're not over their ex or whatever," right? Yes, that's true, but at the same time, it's like if you're still talking about your ex and you're still bashes them or whatever, don't date, but allow yourself to be mad and be angry at that person. Because the more you allow yourself to be in your emotion, sooner or later you're gonna forget about that person. You're gonna forget about why you were mad at this person. Like, trust me, I've done that. Like, I will like still remember certain things that that person did or whatever, right? And I still get irritated, but at the same time, I'm like, it's whatever. Like I talk about it, but I'm like, it's whatever. It's just a reminder, okay? But I'm not mad. You know, I hope whatever these people got going on, they live their own life. I live my own life, and you just move on from there. It is what it is. It happened the way it did. You just want to move on because you don't want to be stuck at where you're at, what, 4 years ago, and so being bitter about this person. My situation is a lot different just because I don't have kids with this person. So I won't be able to speak upon those who are divorced and have kids, but those who are divorced and have no kids, it's just a lot easier for us to just move on like that. Okay. But for those who are divorced and have kids, you guys have, I don't know, advice for those who are going through that? Just write it in the comments or, just mention it that way. Those people have help that they need. Thank you. Um, yeah, like I say, just listen to my podcast from beginning until now, like in order, okay? Because you kind of like skip around, you kind of like miss out on certain things. So I always advise people, if you guys listen to my podcast, just listen from the beginning in order, and then that way it just makes sense, because every episode that I record are things that is happening in my current life at that time. So, like I said, my podcast is kind of like my diary in a way, where it's, I don't know, showing you guys or telling you guys what I'm going through, what I'm thinking at that moment. And so, yeah. So, what advice would you give to other women who are going through divorce as well? Don't be afraid. Because, like I mentioned earlier, like for us women, our parents, we were taught to, listen to our parents, to be a good daughter, to people please, and to do this A, B, C, and D, right? So if you, let's say for example, if you're like me, where you never dated because you dated, your parents think that you're having sex and getting pregnant, and if you get pregnant when you're a teenager, your parents gonna disown you. So I don't know, my parents, they embedded that in my head to where like I got so scared. Okay, I was like, I'm so young. I still want to live with my parents, and if I date other guys and get pregnant, then they're gonna disown me. And so, yeah, all these things that our parents taught us, especially in the Hmong culture, like it scared the crap out of me. So certain things that I didn't do. So of course they wanted you to not date until you're out of school. So of course, if you're like me, where you focus on school, you graduate from high school, you went to college, you didn't date at all, and then you graduate from college, you got a good job. Hopefully, you got a good job, and then once you got a good job, then you're supposed to get married and have kids in the end, right? But then you went through all of that, and then somehow the marriage doesn't work. It's because our parents, they don't teach us about marriage. They don't. And if your parents are the type where they have issues in their marriage and they're not perfect, and they expect you to just in our Hmong terms, 我先 date, right? Like to be patient. We can't be patient. Okay, we just cannot be patient. It's because you just can't. Um, and so I just say that yes, these things that our parents taught us is important, but when your parents don't know anything about marriage, your parents are not they're not they don't know how modern it is in this world, and so they don't know the Western culture, and so how would they know about like relationships and marriage? And I've been hearing a lot of monk stories, and I'm the type of person that listens to monk stories on YouTube, okay? Because I'm old like that, okay? But there's so many monk stories where like, yes, the wife have to be patient and listen to the husband, and if she don't, she gets beaten, all those things, right? And then you still have to be there in the marriage, because you don't, you bring shame and all that's like negative things, right? And if you're too scared of being disowned, you're scared that your parents are not going to love you anymore, you're scared that your parents are not going to respect you anymore, and you're scared that you're going to do all of these things, that it's going to stop you from having the life that you deserve. And I mentioned this in my podcast or my episodes, where you can't allow other people to keep scaring you. And at the end of the day, if you live in the United States, you have the choice to, make choices for your life. Nobody is holding you hostage. Nobody is holding your hand. And if you're in a relationship where it's not serving you, where it's your partner is physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially abusing you, I have an episode on that too. If they're doing all of that and you just can't take it anymore, and you're just there because you have kids with him, and you don't want to bring shame to your family, whatever, it's stopping you from having the life that you deserve. And again, I as much as I would love to help everyone or every woman who's going through all of this, but only you can know when you know, how would I say this? When you know your worth, that's when you know that you can just walk out and start creating your life that you deserve, okay? And I know it's easy said and done. I know, but you guys, I've been there. I should have been divorced. I think the first or second year, okay, but I just held on because I wanted my dad to, because I respected my dad. Okay, I respect my dad a lot to where I didn't want to bring shame to my dad. But when I got divorced, my dad didn't respect me at all, and that's when I knew that, you know what, I should have just done this a long time ago. And and for those who feels like, divorce is not the answer, or maybe I could just hold on for a bit. You don't have to hold on for a bit. You don't. If it's not serving you, just it's okay to move on. It's okay. And like I said, a lot of time people don't talk about these things because it's taboo, or it's something that you shouldn't even talk about, or you shouldn't even mention. I know I'm like rambling on, I'm like rambling, and I'm just like saying whatever, but um yeah, going back to your question, advice for a woman. If you know you deserve a lot more and the partner that you're with is not doing what he needs to reciprocate the same thing, and it's draining you to where you don't know yourself, you're changing yourself, that's just a sign for you to just, move along. And I know it's hard. It's real hard. I think the easy way to get divorced is if you're not legally married, okay? I mean, I thank God that I wasn't legally married, but at the same time, don't let, let's say, like Lee, I mean not Lee, don't let your family clan name your parents or your family to hold you from leaving the relationship when it's not serving you. That's it. Because if you do, you're missing out on life. What else? Oh, girl, same here too. For me, I think I have like a poker face where, like, I don't know. For me, I can sense people's vibe. Okay, and if people say or do things that I don't like, then I was like, yeah, they ain't it. Like, no, I rather just keep my distance. I mean, I guess I don't make it known because my face is really, you can't even tell my emotions. Okay, but I just move away. I just put myself in a situation where I don't want to be surrounded by this person. Then I'm just gonna move along. Hello, happy. Okay, so Allie, thank you for joining me, and Becky, thank you for joining me too. So, Allie, your question is: what advice do you give newly divorced or single people who've been in long-term relationships on how to jump back into dating? I think if you're still talking about your ex and you're talking about like all the negative things that he or she did, you're not ready. If you're just jumping into another relationship just because you need to fill in the void of issues that you have on yourself personally, you're not ready to jump back into the dating world. I say take the time to just work on yourself. And I get it, majority of the time, some people don't like to do that because they don't like to be alone. They don't want to experience loneliness. I don't either, too, but that's just the only way for you to rediscover yourself and kind of reset you as an individual. Because, of course, when you were in that long term relationship, it's either you were kind of like that person to where you change who you are. And now that you are no longer in that relationship, you have this time to learn about yourself. Like for me, for example, I didn't even know where to start. But then for some reason, I felt like I had like a spiritual awakening. I don't know what it was, but and then of course my sisters, they were into what is it, astrology, crystals, and numerology. And so a lot of people may not like it just because people have different opinions about these things. And so a little bit of background about me is I grew up in a Christian family, okay? And of course, when it comes to tarot cards and numerology and astrology and horoscopes, they consider that as like witchcraft and all those bad things, right? And for me, I feel like when I got introduced to those things, it actually helped me understand myself a little bit. It's not to where like, oh, I'm like worshiping the horoscope, I'm worshiping numerology, astrology. No, it's just very interesting, and I'm just intrigued about these things, and it has actually helped me to understand myself a little bit. And so with that, I just use those things to just learn about me and what I am as a person. And then with that, I just wanted to learn more about relationships. I want to learn more about marriage. I want to learn more about the mind of a man. And you guys, there's just so many free resources out there in the internet, like on YouTube. There's a lot of books, podcasts that you can listen to. There's certain things and people that you will gravitate towards, and it will help you. And like going back to like therapy, like if therapy is something that you want to do, go right ahead. If that's something that's going to help you to discover yourself, or to, I don't know, go in depth with your triggers, your childhood traumas, go right ahead. It's okay to seek a therapist. And if you try therapy and it does not work for you because you need depth like me, and you want to figure stuff out, then do that too. So I'm not shading anyone who does therapy. Like if I could afford it, I would have. But I need someone who's going to be like, who's going to poke me, who's going to poke me, who's going to make me think deep about myself, you know. But I haven't met that person yet, so maybe in the future. But yeah, like going back to your question, Ali, that's what I would do. Like work on yourself until you get to the point where you're like, you know, I'm ready to have other people challenge me. Like my previous episode where I talk about me ready to mingle. Like, because where I like where I'm like, I just recently started my new role in my job, so of course I got promoted and I getting paid really good, and so I'm like, okay, I will continue to work on myself. Will continue to discover myself. At the same time, it's kind of like when you're by yourself. I realize that when you're by yourself too long, you don't really know yourself that well too. That's why when you are with other people, you say things, you do things, and people will tell you that, hey, you know, you're saying this wrong. Hey, you shouldn't say or do this. And if you're a type of person where you're self-aware and you don't get offended when people point those out to you, that's what I need. So I'm like, okay, you know, I'm ready to accept other people into my life where I want them to keep me accountable and to challenge me a little bit. Because I can challenge myself, you know, for like, I don't know, for how long, right? But it'll come to a point where I'm just like, damn, I just need somebody, I need to fight with somebody. Not like fight, but like kind of like debate. We can agree or disagree, you know, but I just want somebody to just like challenge me, you know. So I'm ready for that. And so when you're ready for that, that's when you're ready to jump back into dating. And of course, you know, I just did a couple of guys at the beginning of my, like, I don't know, singleness journey, but then I stopped because like, yeah, the dating sucks, and I just wasn't feeling it, you know. I wasn't feeling it, and so I just stopped for a bit, and then when I just continued to just focus on myself and what I want in my life, and I somehow feels like, okay, think I'm ready to date again because I know exactly what I want. When you know what you want, what you need in life, you took the time to do that work, then you're ready to jump into the dating world. So that's the answer. So to answer to your question, Becky, have I met a guy that you connected with yet? And what's your like on love now? Girl, I have not met nobody yet. I'm still looking. I'm still looking. I'm still searching. But nope, I haven't met anything. I haven't met anyone yet. Okay, It's really hard to meet people nowadays. It's like, I don't wanna go to Unison, I don't want to go to CNC, like, I don't know. These places are not a good place to meet people, I guess. I don't know. I will figure something out. But if I do, I will definitely let you know, of course. And then what's my look on, love now? Um, on love. Could you be more specific on that? And then your other question was what's your hope for finding love again? Was just to find a husband and that's it, okay? Like that's it. I don't want to do it the three like the I don't want to do it the third or fourth time because it's just too much, like if I find somebody, we're just gonna work things out and yeah, just work things out. Um but I will be a lot pickier though, just because um I don't want to go through the same thing all over again. I don't want to just pick somebody or just settle just because I want to just settle. No, like 'cause I've done that. I settle and it just didn't do any. It didn't do me any good. So and for those who are single, who are looking for a husband and wife, don't lower your standard. I don't care what people say. Do not lower your standard. Okay. You will meet that person. Even if you are like, what, 60, 70, 80, and you finally meet your person, just wait. Okay. Because the more you lower your standard, the more you're just going to have some like trashy partner. Okay. Like, you the person that you are with are just not it. Okay. Thank you, Nakin, for joining my live. Your question is: I'm curious, have your standards and men changed since the last time you dated, or are they the same? It has changed. Um, but then again, I feel like I need to go on more dates because I feel like the more I go on dates, the more I know what I'm like looking for. I feel like when I each guy that I go on a date with, it teaches me certain things about what I want and what I don't want. And so, for example, okay, um, hopefully my future husband don't watch this live, but um, for me, I like it when a guy is direct, just because I'm direct myself. If he knows a place to eat and he can tell me the location and place and time, great. If he is passively not wanting to plan a date and he says that yeah we can definitely hang out or go on a date but doesn't plan and he's throwing that ball for me to catch and plan then I don't want that. And so I just want to be feminine. I just want to be a a girl, okay, a woman, okay, because I can plan dates. I know a lot of places that we can go on dates, but I just feel like if a guy is interested in me, then he should plan the date, and if he's not, then I just move along. Um, I also don't um text back when it comes to like after the date. 'Cause, of course, for those who's dated before, right after you guys are done with your date, you text, "Oh, I had a good time," or whatever. I don't do that just because I much prefer a guy to do that. That's just my preference, and if not, then I move along. And you guys may say that "Well, you're really picky. Why would you not respond or whatever, right? But I am just trying to protect myself and to just to see if he truly is interested, okay? Because sometimes some guys they're not interested. They want certain things and I don't want to play around. I'm not here to just date and that's it, okay? Just reflecting back on the guys that I dated in the past, like I would expect like a follow up or I will like text back or just kind of wanted him to see if he are interest if he's interested. But for me, I'm just more of, if he's not interested, then I just move along. I don't want to waste nobody's time. Like I would rather not waste his time, nor do I want him to waste my time. So, but I definitely need to date a little bit more to actually I don't know what I want in a man. I mean, I have a list of the things that I want my future husband to have. But as of now, yeah, it's just I just go with the flow. Like if I am in a date with a guy and I meet and interact with him, then I'll know if, like, okay, he has what I'm looking for, and if not, then I'll just say, yeah, it's not gonna work out, or no, I'm not interested. Yeah, just because I don't know, like, okay, when you enter the dating world at this time of age, or whatever you want to call it, right? There's a lot of people saying, "Oh, you shouldn't do this. Oh, you shouldn't do that. If you do this, you're desperate, or if you say this, and you're desperate, or whatever." Right? So it's just too many do's and don'ts that that you shouldn't do when it comes to dating, right? So I say whatever works for you, then works for you, because that's your standards, that's your boundaries. If you want him to pick you up on the first date and you're comfortable with that, go right ahead. For me, I wouldn't do that. Just because, for safety wise, I don't want him to know where I live. And let's say if, he thinks that I was interested in what I wasn't, what if he's a stalker? Okay, like, yeah, that for me, I wouldn't do that. Some people are okay having a guy come and pick them up, but for me, I wouldn't agree to that. So it all depends on your preference. Okay, I'm gonna look at the other. Okay, so far a lot of you guys are very courageous in asking me questions. No, no anonymous questions yet, which is good. Let's see. Thinking of King is actually 2 years. It's actually 2 years. Yeah, 2 years goes by very, very quick. Um, yeah, I wouldn't even, like, I don't know. I felt like I just started this podcast like a year ago, but no, it's been 2 years, and yeah, I just it's a really fun. I don't know what you call it, a project, fun thing to add into my life. Even though it can be kind of consuming in a way, but I enjoy it though. I enjoy editing. I enjoy, I don't know, listening to myself, and sometimes I laugh at myself too. Oh girl, no worries. So your question is, what would you say is the best and the worst thing has happened to you, like in life in general, or like in, like, dating, or I think in life, I think the best thing is just being able to. Okay, thank you. In life, say the best thing will be being able to connect to myself like 10 years ago. So weird. I don't know why it's like this, but ever since my divorce, I went back to rediscovering myself, of course, and I felt like I left off who I was as a person 10 years ago before I was in my previous relationship. It's so weird. And for those who know me, like I love doing nails, and I've decided to get licensed. And that was something that I've always wanted to do, but I haven't done because, marriage. I was too busy being a wife. So with that, I just didn't even got a chance to get that done and out of the way. And right after divorce, I just went back into that, and I am licensed. I'm currently not taking any clients or whatever, but it's just good for me to know that, that was something that I've always wanted to have in my life, and I achieved that. So that was like a big thing for me, like the best thing. The best thing is also just living in solitude. Like there's good thing and bad things about living alone, but I do have to say, I'm not trying to rub this on anyone who is like married and have kids and have a husband and lives with a family and dealing with, people taking your time. But when you're by yourself and you're living on your own, you can wake up whatever, eat whatever, clean whatever, like you do whatever you want. You don't have to wait for anyone. You don't have to, schedule certain things or like find a babysitter. So that's just the perks of just being single and living on your own. And so with that, I would say that's the best part. I think the worst part is, like when you're by yourself, you're living by yourself. Like I even tell this to my sibling too, to where, what happens if like I like pass away, like and then you guys didn't know that I died, like what would happen? And although it's good to live on your own, sometimes it's also best to have roommates or to live with someone. That way you guys can look out for each other, and so, it's just things happen in life, but for me, I my thing is that it'd just be nice to just live with someone. That way if something happens or if I need something, I have someone there to, keep me accountable, and I'm also there to keep that other person accountable as well too. So, because you never know what life's gonna do to you, and so you just never know. What else? Yeah, and also, a lot of people always say this, like the dating world has changed a lot. Like it really has changed a lot. Um, 10, 15, I don't know, years ago when everyone was dating, it was really easy to date people because you meet your spouse at church, at work, or at school. Majority of the time it's at school. But now it's more of, we have the internet, social media, online dating. It's just a lot easier for people to just do that. And for me, I haven't done online dating, and I don't have an interest in doing that. But if I do change my mind, I'll let you guys know. But I just don't like that. It's just not my preference. I'd rather just go out there and just meet people and just interact. Um, but again, if I don't meet anybody, then I'm okay. I just learned to accept my life. Sometimes you you want to be in control of your life to where you plan your life out, but it doesn't work the way that you want it to work out. And with that, I just not go like the flow, but more of just living life in the present. And if certain things doesn't go the way that I want, then yeah, I will just I have I have the choice to change that. And so even if you want your life to be perfect, sometimes it's not perfect, and it's okay. Just know that you can make the choice to change that. Hopefully I answered your question. Okay. Any other questions you guys have, or just anything in general? And again, it's just more. It's just a chill life. I don't have anything planned at all. It's just more of talking to you guys, and just if there's any questions that you guys want me to answer, or it's just what I think about things. I don't know. Just let me know. Yeah, but I hope that you guys are having a wonderful weekend. I feel like the whole week has just been like going by so quick. By the time you know it, it's Monday, which means we have to get up and get ready for the week. Yeah. Okay. Dude, sometimes I feel like 3 days is just too long for me. I feel like if I like had like a plan of like, let's say like a vacation or whatever, okay. If I we're gonna go on vacation, yes, it'd be nice to get like a 3 day weekend, you know. Uh, but I feel like when I have that extra day, I'm not productive for some reason. I'm just not. So I mean, I could have the 3 day weekend, but I'm just a workaholic. I just like to keep myself busy. That's all. You know. But yeah, I'm just gonna be up live until 7:30, and then I'll just call it a day. And again, like I say, I don't expect a lot of people to come in just because it's the weekend. Okay, it's Sunday. People are probably just winding down and just doing their own thing. Oh, so and again, I will have this posted on my Facebook and on YouTube. Hopefully, because again, this is my first live, so I don't know how like the posting and all that stuff works. But I will make sure that it's in there. If not, then there's always the next live. If you guys enjoy me doing this like live thing where like I come up with topics and I talk about it and then you guys interact with me, let me know too. That way, I can substitute this instead of like posting another podcast episode. But I do enjoy the recording my podcast episode just because I get, I get to just edit things out, and um, yeah, it's not where you guys won't hear me say oh because and so like all those like words. Okay. Right. If there is any I don't know, like any books or any podcasts or any videos or any person that you guys listen to that is very inspirational, that I don't know, has changed your life, please let me know. That way I can, listen to their podcast or listen to what they have to say. I'm always elevating and continuing to improve my life. And I believe that you can be in control of your life. And when you realize that, that's when you are successful in life. And that's when you can truly have the life that you always wanted. You just have to work extra hard to discover that yourself. I'm always listening to podcasts. I'm always trying to read books. Well, more of like audible books, and also just trying to just follow people who are inspirational, who has gone through some things in life and has turned their life around. And so, if you guys have any of these people or things that you follow and you listen to, let me know. Okay. Hopefully this year or when the next year comes in, I hope to I don't know, push out a lot more content when it comes to yours truly. I do make videos on TikTok, just if you guys are interested in looking at that, go right ahead. I do look a lot different just because I like to be natural. That's it. Like in this video or this live, I am looking a little bit put together is because just you guys, okay? But yeah, I hope that, like I mentioned, I hope that my podcast is helping you in any shape or form when it comes to elevating yourself and rediscovering yourself. Life can be difficult, okay? It can be difficult, but I know that if you work hard on your goal, which is to be successful and um, to want the life that you want and the life that you deserve to live, then you will have that. It just takes a lot of work, and trust me, I'm still doing that. I'm still continuing to do that as well. Um, and I know that my content and the things that I talk about is not for everyone, and I can be very offensive, which I don't mean to be offensive, but it's more of I'm just honest. Okay, come on. I'm a Sagittarius. I'm a Sagittarius. My moon and rising is a Scorpio. Like I go deep, okay? I go super deep. And I just want to discover a whole lot of things about life, about the world, you know. There's just so many things that we can learn. There's so many things that we can grow as an individual. And if you're just your same self for the past 10, 20, 30, I don't know, 40, 50 years, and you haven't changed, you haven't learned anything new in life, you got to change that, okay? You got to change that. It's not to change you for the bad, it's to change you for the good. And we don't know everything though. We just know, I don't know, like half or a third of things in life. And for me, I am just one of those people that wants to learn a whole lot of things about life, about me, why things are the way they are, These are just questions that I want answers to. And that's why Yours Truly was created. And again, it's not for everyone, and that's totally fine. Certain things are for someone, some certain things are not for someone. So okay, well, I'm gonna end 5 minutes early. But I do want to thank everyone who has tuned in and has asked me questions. And again, I know that it's a Sunday. I didn't expect a lot of people to come in and interact with me. But for those who have asked me questions and was interacting with me, I thank you so much. Again, thanks to everyone who has been listening to my podcast. And I do like to have some feedbacks from you guys. And like I said, if you want to remain anonymous, just send me an email or something. Uh, but just so that I know what I can improve more on and what I can talk about. And again, I'm not an expert. I'm not a licensed, I don't know, what is it, therapist, what doctor, whatever you want to call it. Okay. I am just speaking on my own experience and what I have researched for myself. And I hope that from today and on forward, yours truly will grow and that it will impact those who need it, any advice or messages. Because again, like I said, I'm not for everyone. But if I am for you, great. Um, that's all I care about. If my messages is reaching out to those who really needs it and it's helping you and you learn something from it and it's changing your life in a certain way, I did my job, basically. And so I have a lot of silent listeners. And it's okay. I like to entertain, okay? Sometimes I'm serious, sometimes I'm not, and sometimes I just want things to be very chill, but in the meantime, yeah, again, this is my first live just to celebrate my second year of yours truly, of launching yours truly. And um yeah, just want to thank all of you guys for tuning in. And I will be creating some more content on my TikTok for sure. And I will also be talking a lot more about a lot of taboo topics as well, and some more experiences of my life as well. So keep following me, keep listening, and yeah, you just keep yourself updated, basically. But other than that, again, I'm gonna end this live before I start rambling on again, like I always do. Arabelle, I'll say bye to you guys as well, right, Arabelle? Look at her stink face. She's so spoiled. But yeah, but until then, I'll see you guys on the next live or the next episode. And I hope you guys have a good night, good weekend. Stay safe, be positive. You are in control of your life. I know you are. You just gotta know that yourself, okay? Until then, I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.